For my 1,000 subscriber special, I am going to count down my top 25 favorite anime characters. But there's a twist. To do that, I have to have a figure of them in my collection. If I don't, I cannot put them on this list. So let's get right on into it with number 25. Number 25 is Annie. From Attack on Titan, I have the female Titan. I also have her and her Funko Pop here, and I also have the standard Nindroid here, as well as a few pins and such. Annie is not the only Attack on Titan character on this list. I will not spoil that for later, but she is one of my favorites. I adored her in season 1, and then when she returned later on, it was again one of my favorite characters. So while she's not high on this list, she definitely would make the list no matter what. Next up is one that I don't have a lot of figures for, but it is number 24, and that is Daki from Demon Slayer. My favorite demon from the series. I adored this character. I think her design is great. I think her little using the ribbons for a weapon, I think that is really cool. These are not the only 3 I have of her in my collection. I also have this sticker, but as of now, that is it in the collection. But I hope to have more of her soon. It is one that I am actively collecting. I am trying to find more at good prices. They do overprice some of the Demon Slayer stuff, so I'm trying to get it whenever I find it at a good deal. But I definitely will be getting more of her soon. Number 23 is Komi from Komi Can't Communicate. I only have these 2 of her in my collection for now because they haven't really made a whole lot of her, but I do have her Nindroid and her freeing figure. 3 in a row on this side of the room. Number 22 is Yotsuba from the Quintessential Quintuplets. I love her character. I think while most people probably are not huge fans of Yotsuba, I really like Yotsuba. She's not my favorite Quint, but we'll get into that. As you can see, I have quite a bit of her. Few figures, a lot of acrylic stands, and a Nindroid. I have another one of her coming soon, but yeah. And number 21 is Nezuko. You might think, well, I would have thought she would be higher. Well, I'm not a huge Nezuko fan. I do love her design. I love the idea of Nezuko, but we haven't got a lot of Nezuko in terms of like character development. She is more of just a fun little quirky like mascot more than she is a character. So far anyway. Maybe we'll get some soon, but as of now, I do love her just overall kind of appeal and everything. As you know, I have the big plushie here, as well as the Nezuko desk and chair, but also I do have a few other little things here. I've got the fig pin, this little plushie thing, 2 Nindroids, and a bunch of Funko Pops. In 20th, I have Yamada from The Dangers in My Heart. This character, I wouldn't have had a whole lot of her if it wasn't for a few weeks ago whenever I got the Pop-Up Parade and the Nindroid, but she is getting more stuff every so often, so I am very glad to be getting more of her. I think she's a really good character, very well developed, not in that sense, but also that, I guess. But I just think her character arc has been very well done. I think she's a very complex character, and I really adore her, and I'm glad to see more of her in season 2. Number 19, we have Yor here. I only have a few of her so far, but I do have a few more coming. I have the dress back here in the back, and then the Nindroid, and then obviously I have the little blind bags that we're going through. But one of my favorites, obviously I have the plushie as well, but not a whole lot out for her yet. But I do really like her, and I think she's a great character. Next up is Mia from Love Live. I have a few things of her, not a whole lot, but in terms of Love Live, I've only included 3 characters, and she comes in 3rd. I really like Mia. I think she's just a kind of fun character that is unique to the Love Live series, and I think that matters a lot to me, at least. Did you think the whole list would just be girls? No, we have one and one only male, and that is Inosuke. I like Inosuke quite a bit. He has been my favorite ever since I started watching Demon Slayer. I don't have a whole lot of him yet, but I do want more of him. I really like where his character goes in the entire story. I'm not going to get into that here, but I do really like what they do with his character, the way it starts, the way it ends. Just love him to death. Number 16 is Chizuru. I have quite a bit of her, as I talked about in the other video. She is the character I have the most figures of, and I have more coming of her soon. I do have quite a bit of her, and it really wasn't on purpose. I just caught myself buying a lot of her, and I realized maybe I do like Chizuru more than I thought. And so I know she's not a fan favorite. This whole series is not. But I really like Chizuru. I think she's a really well done character, to be honest. And I'm not just saying that for the lulz. I genuinely do think she's a good character. And I guess that's why I have so much of her. Okay, so this is going to be the most unknown in the list, and that is Nina from the Idolmaster U149. This is the only thing I have of Nina, because it's the only thing I could find. But I adore Nina. Nina is one of my favorite characters of all time, and one of my favorite idols of all time. And I think the reason why is because her story is so hard-hitting for what this character is. I do really recommend that you check out Idolmaster U149. I think all these characters are really well done, and I think if you're like me, you'll love Nina. She is just so much fun. You will care for her so much, just like I did. Remember how I said that Yotsuba was not the only Quint on this list? Well, she's not. It is Itsuki. She is my favorite quintessential quintuplet, and I have the same amount as I do Yotsuba, but I have quite a bit here as well. I just really like Itsuki. She was my favorite from the start, pretty much. Never really was like, I hope she wins. She better win. No, I just like the character. I think her motivations are really well done. I think her character arc is really well done. And I think just as a good character, I think she knocks it out of the park. One of my favorites. Number 13, we return to Attack on Titan for Mikasa. Love Mikasa, especially at the end there with the series. She really came into being one of my favorite characters. I think her whole arc in the entire series is really well done, and every time I try to make a list like this, Mikasa goes up in the list, so that is why she is at number 13. Next up, we return to Love Live for number 12 with Honoka. I love Honoka. I know she is not kind of unique like if I was, say, a Nico fan, but I really like Honoka. Now, honorable mention will go to Rin. Now, I like Rin quite a bit, but I had to narrow it down to 3 on this list for Love Live, and so Honoka barely beats her out, but in terms of just Muse in general, I'm going to give it just a slight edge. But I do love Rin quite a bit. But as for Honoka, I think she's the best leader until the end. We'll get to that later. And I love her personality. Her personality just won me over as soon as I started watching it. Really just sucked me into the Love Live franchise, and I'm very glad she did, and that's why she takes the number 12 spot. Number 11 is Ruka. The character I have the most of in my collection is Ruka, and you might be asking, why is she not higher? Well, Ruka is like that character that you love her, but there's just not a whole lot there yet. She's not the main character. She's not even probably much the second or third character, but she's there and she has a lot of cool stuff. And I love her design, and that's pretty much why she's up here. But anyway, yeah, Ruka takes the 11th spot. Next up, this character barely made the list, and if it wasn't for this figure showing up a few weeks ago, she would not have made the list, and that is Suzume. So, beforehand, I really liked Hina from Weathering With You, and I still do really like Hina. I think she's a great character. But Suzume changed my outlook. I love Suzume. I think her character arc is just fantastic with her mother and everything. And I am so glad they made a figure of her because it can go well with my little chair that I made. Number 9 is Bocchi from Bocchi the Rock. I have a few things of her here. I don't feel like any of you really need an explanation as to why she is this high, but I just adore this character. I think she's great. I think she just really is a character that I think anybody can sort of relate to, maybe not to the extent, but she's just so lovable. How can you not like Bocchi? Number 8 is Sayu from Hegihiro. I don't think a lot of people would have her on their list, and I think she's kind of a forgotten character almost because her series only got 1 season and her story is over. There is not going to be a season 2. Even if it sold amazing, it's not going to get one. But I just adore this character. I think she's a great character in the series. I think the whole story to me is fantastic, and I'll get into that someday. But as for her character, 10 out of 10 character. Everybody from this point on, I think, is a 10 out of 10 character. And I don't have a whole lot of her because they didn't make a whole lot. They did make one other figure that I hope to get someday. But for now, this is what I have of her. Quite a bit for the limited stuff they've made of her, but I would love more of it if they ever did make it. Number 7 is Chisato from Licorice Recoil. I don't have a whole lot of her yet because I haven't made a whole lot of her yet, but I think she is one of the most fun characters that can, at the drop of a dime, turn into this serious character that's really cool. And that's why she's here. And I think I cannot wait to get more of her, not only on screen, but in figure form soon. I definitely will be picking up a whole lot more. They will run out of room in this little corner before too long, but yeah, definitely a big fan of Chisato. Number 6 is Megumin from Konosuba. I think in terms of comedy character, you cannot beat her. But in the movie, in her series, I think she's just a really well done character. Probably my favorite. Well, she is my favorite from the series. Shout out to the others though. I really do like the whole cast, especially her. I think she's adorable. But in terms of just overall character, Megumin is without a doubt my favorite. On to the top 5 and returning to Attack on Titan one final time for my favorite Attack on Titan character, and that is Sasha. Love her to death. As soon as I found out about her character in season 1, she just became my favorite character, and that carried on the way to the end. Now, you might say, well then, do you hate that certain character? No. That other character would have been my 4th favorite Attack on Titan character if I made the entire list. I don't have a ton of Sasha, but enough that I would definitely include her on this list. And I hope they make more of her someday, because I will definitely buy it. Number 4, I barely can put on this list, and that's because they haven't made a whole lot of her, and that is Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Now, I want to show off these first, but these would not let her be included in my eyes. But this is some artwork that I have of her. I have 3 pieces of artwork, and she is just one of my favorite characters ever. And if we go purely on design, Lucy wins every time. I think Lucy is a fantastic designed character. She just looks amazing. And in terms of a character figure, I have the little Nendoroid of her. She sits on my desk for now, but I'd love to get more of her. I do have the pop-up parade coming as well, so eventually I will make the Edge Runners their own little shelf, probably up here somewhere. But for now, they will have this little area in the corner to themselves. Number 3 is the same. I don't have a whole lot of her, but that is Takagi from Teasing Master Takiya-san. I adore her. I adore this whole series. Chi would probably make the list, as well as Nishika. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but all 3 of them are just amazing little characters. They're adorable. The whole series is just fantastic. One of my favorites of all time, and the character designs are great. This figure is one of my favorites now because it just looks so... It captures her character so well, in my opinion, as well as this little thing. Forehead and all captured very well here. Number 2, my favorite Love Live character is Kanon from Superstar. Love her to death. I think she's the best Love Live character by far. Am I super happy with what they did with her in season 2, kind of making her using her for everything? Not quite, but I do think she is still a great character. What they did with her in season 1 was fantastic, and I hope we get more of that in season 2 or season 3, because I think she really has a lot of potential to be the first lead girl that we've seen graduate. I think there's a lot you can do with her, and I really hope they do, because she is one of my favorites by far. And number 1 is Azusa from Kanon. Don't have a whole lot of her because they just haven't made a whole lot, and it's an older series, so it's hard to find stuff for it. But she is my favorite character, no doubt about it. I have been ranking my favorite characters for a long time, and every time she's a top spot. For a little bit, I thought Kanon would take it, but no, Azusa came right back, and I don't think she's gonna go anywhere. She is just such a cute character, as well as just being this perfect character arc. Perfect, in my opinion, for the Kanon series. The final few episodes with her, I will get to that someday, and whenever I do, we're going to talk about her because she is fantastic. Love her to death. So that'll be about it. Now, I did leave off quite a bit of characters that I adore, but wouldn't have made my top 25, or at least not this time. Like Marin. I like Marin a lot. She didn't make the list this time. Kumiko didn't make the list this time, but I do like her a lot. As well as I mentioned Hina. She didn't make the list, but I do like her. And all the girlfriend characters. Really like them. They missed out on the list this time. So maybe we'll do this again someday and see if my list changed any. Maybe some characters that I don't have figures of will get some, and I can include them in the list that time. But anyway, that'll about do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. I hope this is a worthy 1,000 subscriber special. We're gonna have a ton of really interesting videos coming up soon. I hope you will check them out. But anyway, that'll be about it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.